small pieces that challenge us to take our skills in visual perception and shape perception and memory to put together the same masterpiece we see usually on the cover of the puzzle box. So with this is a little fairy house, and it reminds me a lot of my childhood because one Christmas I received a fairy book from one of my sisters, and I thought it was so fascinating. It talked about different kinds of fairies with their little outfits, their wings, their nature elements, and the environments they lived in, from beautiful mushrooms to the most delicate flowers. But I really like this piece and how it shows a little house complete with windows, a little door, and I love this cute little doorknob. I don't know why. And I love that it's just adorned with flowers and mushrooms. And you can see tiny little pieces of, I think these are evergreen tree needles that help to fixate the immediate roof. So I'm currently working on the bigger roof on top. It has many, 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 many yellow and orange pieces. So it's taking me a little longer to put together the roof compared to the house, but I'm enjoying the challenge because it really encourages me to look for various shapes, patterns, and tone shifts. Now for a reference, I'll show you the original of what it looks like in the box. Okay, here it is. So there are 300 pieces total included in this puzzle, and you can see what the roof looks like. I can't even tell what it's made out of, but I'd like to think it's made out of blonde and ginger hair, maybe. I don't know if the fairies and pixies just took human hair, or maybe it's pixie hair left over from the elders in their little kingdoms and just used one by one to shape the roof to honor their ancestors. Who knows? Or maybe it's just yarn and I'm overthinking things. But other elements I'd like to point out, I really like the ongoing theme of 3 main colors. So outside the original green with the forest, 2 other colors I noticed that stand out include yellows, like in the roof, the flowers, the lanterns, and even to an extent the borders of the windows and the door. And then the other color that stood out to me was purple, various shades of purples and faint pinks. I think this was very cleverly put together, and I only wish that I could see who's currently occupying this cute little fairy hut. So lazier Sunday, I could still do something mentally stimulating, such as putting together a puzzle, drawing, reading a book, listening to a podcast, visiting a museum, seeing a play or musical, or just anything else to challenge my intellectual health and to strengthen it. Or play Sudoku. I often do that when I'm on trips, but that's something I can also do more often to challenge myself more intellectually. So, yeah, I'm very happy with the results of this puzzle so far, though. Again, it's a total of, a total of 300 pieces, and I'm very pleased that I put all this together by myself in just a couple of hours. It's quite fun, and I highly recommend it. And I do also recommend, if you want some background music or background sounds to put you more into focus, that's what I've been personally doing. It keeps things more interesting for me, especially if there's any kind of background music that feels more like you're in an enchanted forest. So that kind of fit the context of this puzzle for me. Okay, so with that was the puzzle. I'm going to go ahead and lift the camera again so we can see each other. So 3, 2, 1, up we go. Up, 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 up. Up, 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 up. Hello, and I'm going to return the mic back to the front so y'all can hear me much better. So yeah, that's what I've been working on earlier today on this lazy Sunday. The other thing, I realized that I hadn't put together too much on this puzzle piece yet, besides the various yellows for the roof. There are also several green puzzle pieces that show the borders of the leaves and the trees. So, for example, if I look back into this box, we have this one green piece that is on an edge, and that can be very helpful, anything on an edge or a border. And this one represents one of the larger green leaves, I believe located on the upper right side of the original image. So very often I really appreciate the puzzles that have the reference image, which is probably all puzzles, but I really appreciate that puzzles include that original image. You can use it as a reference, and even if they're at a slightly different proportion, it's still a really nice guide to use. So, like, this green shows the larger leaves, but there could be another green that shows the evergreen needles. So this one, for instance, kind of feels like a more Christmassy, almost like a forest minty green. Let's see what other kinds of puzzle pieces are green. So this one is technically showing the white flowers at the top, and it's quite interesting. It all depends on your perception, but it's supposed to be white flowers, I believe, at the top of the image for this one, but it kind of looks like a minty green, especially when you have it alongside all the other green puzzle pieces. It's quite intriguing. But this piece, it's the same kind of flower, but you can see that it's a lot more white. So it is nice that there's some variation with some of the structures around the puzzle, because it can be served again as some kind of guide. Yeah. So those are some of the greens. Let me show you the various pieces of the roof, and again, I'll show the original image so you can have a full reference. almost wish that this included a little backstory. I think every puzzle should have some kind of backstory included just to increase a sense of imagination, increase a sense of wonder for the person putting together the puzzle, and just to give a lot of reinforcement and encouragement to finish the puzzle. Maybe not so in one sitting, but at least in a certain period of time, whether it's in 3 days or 3 months. It still gives a kind of imagination. So, if you take a look at this image a little bit more closely, you see the flowers I just talked about. The ones further in the background are like a minty green and kind of blend in with the rest of the foresty area. But the ones that are kind of in the foreground, like this one at the bottom corner here, this one's more of a bright form of white compared to the ones in the back. So whoever the artist was for this one, I think they were quite clever in how they put all these together. All about that perspective. Yeah. So, yes, back to the roof. I find it very fascinating how it was conceptualized, not just because of the luster in itself, but the various forms of orange, yellow, and green. And I do like how it's texturized, because I think it will help me and any owner of this puzzle to put it together. Because you can see there's several, you have this orange line at the bottom that serves as the structural force in the lower layer of the roof for the fairy house. Then you've got, I believe, this first layer, the main protective layer, that's in a lighter shade of orange, and then you just have these extra layers of textures that gradually move into shades of yellow and even green. Some of them even look like they're a neon green, which is quite fascinating. At least for me, because these shades of green seem to be more like a warm undertone, while the green from the flowers in the back have more of a cool undertone. As a matter of fact, the majority of the green background seems to be more like a cool green, while as for the roof, it's more like a warm green. I wonder if that was done on purpose to subset the orange and yellows, since that's more likely to be perceived with a warm undertone than ever. Yeah, so I think it's quite interesting for sure. Let me show you the poster that comes with it too. I think it's quite beautiful. Not only does it show the current fairy house, but it shows some other fairy houses. I'm going to be very gentle and deliberate with this page because we all know how paper can be. Okay, let's see. I want to make sure y'all can see this properly. looks like they all have forms of brown in each of the houses, but they're in different forms. Some forms of brown seem to be a little bit on the warmer side, while others are on the cooler side. Yeah, so I just think that's quite cool. No pun intended. Alright, so that was one of the puzzles. I want to quickly show you the two other puzzles I had been working on probably about a year ago now, so it's been a while. But I intend to return to these puzzles and give them another go. So let me open this second puzzle box. This one says Namaste Cats. And at the time it combined with some of my two loves, cats and yoga or hot yoga or Pilates. It was really Pilates that I used to do a lot. But this is what the finishing touches would look like. And I think it's very cute because it has cats of all various forms, sizes, shapes, and colors and personalities. And underneath each of the cats, there is a label for each of the yoga poses, so you feel like you're taking a class alongside them and learning how each of the poses work for the yoga techniques. I guess the only exception is this little guy here. Just a little reminder to dress the part, I guess. Yeah, but we've got several different poses. Like, we've got this cute little gray one doing the crow. We've got this brown one with black spots doing the upward dog. But I wonder if we just call that one the upward cat. But that'd probably be too confusing, right? We've got this orange one, this orange tabby doing the standing split. That gets definitely more flexible than most of us. We've got this brown tabby cat doing the reverse triangle on the mat. He actually looks a lot like my cat Sheldon. He's also a brown tabby cat. We've got this, I think this looks like a Siamese cat. They're doing the downward dog. We've got this gray cat that's doing the side reclining leg lift. We've got this cat that looks a lot like my friend's cat. Almost looks like a black tuxedo cat. They're doing the chair. We've got this beautiful white and brown one doing the boat. That's really good for the abs. We've got this orange and black spotted cat doing the, what does that say? Oh, the goddess. The goddess. We've got, I guess this cat's brother, maybe sister, doing the high lunge. We've got this other brown tabby doing the locust. We've got this orange and brown one doing the Lord of the Dance. That one requires a lot of balance. We've got this gray tabby doing the head to knee forward bend. Very flexible. We've got this white cat, almost reminds me of a Persian cat, doing the easy pose. It's probably the most recognizable yoga pose or meditation pose. This one's so cute. This dark brown one is doing the happy baby. He looks like a happy baby. We've got this gray tabby all the way at the end corner here doing the plank. Heard that's good for the core too. We've got this orange tabby on top doing the child's pose. That's puzzle chunks that I had put together. So you can see a little snippet of the brown tabby cat standing on a pink mat. As you see here, just like that. We've also got, what else have we got? Let's see. Here's another part of the mat right here. The pink mat. I am curious why the artist chose pink as the background color. It's a very calming pink though. It's almost like a dusky pink, but on the lighter side, and I think it was a nice contrast for the rest of the cats. There's one half of one of the cat's heads with the yoga headband, reminding us that it's okay to look cute and work hard. So, yeah, there are definitely a lot of pieces going on here. Oh, let me show you this one of the orange tabby. I think this one's quite cute. See how happy he is? He looks so relaxed. That's going to be all of us when we fall asleep. Okay, let me quickly show you one more type of puzzle that I had worked on about a year ago. I'll put this down here. And this third one has everything to do with food. And this one is a 500-piece puzzle. Oh, hold on, how many pieces was the Namaste Cats? Oh, okay, so the fairy house has 300 pieces, the Namaste Cat one has 500 pieces, and this one also has 500 pieces. Noodles for lunch. It has a bit of a pink undertone to it, like the cat puzzle, but it also has the green undertones like the fairy house puzzle. So quickly for this one, I'll go ahead and unbox it, but it just has different kinds of plates of noodles and noodle-like recipes, all complete with chopsticks, side sauces, drinks, veggies, and more. So this is what it all looks like. There's so many assortments of noodles here, and all for lunch. You can see this as a really cozy puzzle piece idea, especially for the winter, or honestly in any season that we want soup. And here's the image that shows the finishing touches. And this one comes with a little description. Let me go ahead and read that. Let's see. Noodles over lunch, 500-piece puzzle by Troy Ladon. My all-time favorite dining experiences in Southeast Asia always seem to involve joining the local crowds for a sampling of the region's amazing array of hot puzzle collection. But I also want to hear from you. If any of you engage in puzzles or board games, feel free to let me know in the comments below. And I hope to see you in the next video. Have a good night.